Andrew Nichols, the host, was kind of a shitty movie. And yeah, it's not like I'm expecting anybody to be surprised by that statement. It would be difficult for me to walk into this film expecting anything but a giant piece of shit. I mean, obviously this film was set up to be a monument of professional writing and directing. So you're probably wondering why I would even bother watching this in the first place. Well, I'm about to tell you right now. The biggest reason is obviously because of the director. As I explained in my In Time review, despite this guy currently making pieces of shit, there was a point in his career where he had some great ideas and they worked out really well.
It seems like so many of your films are sort of predict what's going to happen in the future, and it's like we've kind of reached this point with all this reality series and stuff.
Yeah, there was no reality TV.
I know, you were
before
like,
I wrote
you're like this.
and I apologize.
Yeah, social media.
Yeah.
There's now a psychological condition named after the Truman Show called Truman Show Syndrome. And it's an actual condition where people believe that they're the star of their own reality show. So you really know you've made it when you've got an illness named after.
But how do you feel about that? I mean,
Weird.
He proved himself as a writer with The Truman Show, and he then wound up proving himself as a talented director with these two films that I would highly recommend at least checking out. And then 6 years later, he made the hilariously shitty movie called In Time, a clusterfuck of nonsensical puns that you'd only expect from the most amateur of writers.
What's a night here cost?
2 months for a standard room.
Fortunately for me, it turned out to be pretty unintentionally funny, and even though I knew that his script for this film was an adaptation of a book, I was more or less expecting something that I could at least laugh at if I couldn't enjoy it. And boy, is this movie ever pretty fucking funny if you leave your brain turned on. Now, it's already bad enough that at this point Andrew Niccol has basically given up on making anything worth watching, but to add insult to injury, the book that this project was based on was written by Stephenie Meyer of the Twilight series.
We started talking directors, and he said, write down your top 5 science fiction movies, and we'll see who the directors are. My number 1 is Gattaca, and also on the list was The Truman Show. And he's like, well, I'm friends with Andrew Niccol. And I was like, well, that would be the dream choice.
Well, good for you, Andrew Niccol. Now you'll be working with one of the greatest writers of all time. She totally seems like a competent enough writer to be able to handle science fiction.
How would you describe a Stephenie Meyer type story? What elements does it have?
That is a good question. I'm not sure how to answer that. Female-driven, and they're young girls and hot guys. They really appeal to a lot of people because they are very aspirational, and they tackle big issues like, not just love, but also what world we live in and the temptations we all go through. So I feel like I'm part of a club now because the people who love her are like devoted children.
The film opens up with some narration that explains that Earth is now a pleasant, happy utopia where there is no hunger or poverty and everyone is awesome.
The environment is healed. Honesty, courtesy, and kindness are practiced by all.
Only problem is that an alien race has invaded and are using humans as host bodies. And the only remaining humans are now on the run for their lives, which really contradicts those blanket statements made 10 seconds ago and turns them into more of a hyperbole.
There is no violence.
No!
How the fuck did you not see them right there? So we watch our main character try to escape and she falls out the 5th story window, right on her fucking head. Apparently she gets off on extreme body mods and has replaced her skull with titanium. Oh boy, this is gonna be great.
Barely a bone not broken or organ ruptured. I cannot tell you why she is not dead.
This one wants to live.
Oh right, all those people that died earlier, they didn't really want to live. Remember, if you die, and especially if it's from fall damage, it's only because you really didn't want to live. That's why she jumped out the 5th story window. It's not because she had nowhere to go and wanted to commit suicide rather than be taken over by aliens. She just knew that if she wanted to live hard enough, then she wouldn't die by doing it. Fucking smart. Meh. No, dude, don't invade her body just yet. She got stanky breath. There's some high quality drugs you got there, Doc. So this guy cuts open her neck and then grabs a little alien thing and lets it slide in. And now that there's an alien controlling her, her eyes become fucked up like everybody else's. It's interesting how you put so much attention on one shot only for it to lead into a continuity error.
You have lived many lives on many worlds. A wanderer such as yourself, there must have been a name.
Call me Wanderer.
So Wanderer quickly finds out that the previous character, Melanie, is still inside her head.
I didn't die.
Oh, okay, it's just because she really, really wants to live.
Don't think this is yours. This body is mine. No, mine.
Wanderer scans Melanie's memories and tells the Seeker what she's been doing this whole time.
Her name is Melanie Strider.
Strider sounds like a science fiction-y enough name. Wanderer goes to bed later and goes through a bunch of Melanie's old memories. Yay, post-production blur so you can tell it's a memory. Like just in case somebody wasn't clued in by the constant cuts back to her in bed. It shows her raiding a random fridge somewhere and she gets introduced to this guy.
You're human.
I haven't spoken to another human being in 2 years.
I'm guessing you haven't been kissed in a while either.
I can give you a ride. Hey, it's faster than running. It's even faster than you running.
My darling, I can't get enough of your love, babe.
It seems as though both Melanie and the tone of the film are perfectly okay with putting your trust into a stranger who has just sexually assaulted you as long as they're kind of hot.
Listen, I want you to... Do you remember we were doing a scene and you like had to tackle me to the ground and we were rehearsing and he was like, is this a bit rapey or...
That's where the passion comes.
Kiss me like you want to get slapped is one of the most famous
But doesn't
lines.
every girl want to be kissed sort of passionately that way, like where it gets
It's
a little...
a fine line.
Yeah.
Wanderer wakes up and then goes to exactly where she was the day before and continues telling the Seeker about her memories. She continues scanning her memories for totally relevant information to try and beat the human resistance.
You haven't kissed me since that first night.
This girl's kind of fucked up.
You don't have to.
It's very important that we establish that not only does Melanie really want to get laid by this guy, but that he totally respects her enough to not want to be pressuring her in any way whatsoever.
You still don't have to.
Is this a male power fantasy or a female power fantasy?
When you touch me, I don't want you to stop. Sleep with me.
All I'm saying is, we have time.
We only have this. Now.
Wanderer.
Yeah, you might want to wipe down the chair later. So apparently viewing her memories is a bit of a lengthy process and she conveniently can't remember exactly where the resistance is stationed.
There's nothing more now.
There has to be more.
The Seeker gets impatient and decides to leave the room, but oops, she gets a little flash of the area and jots it down as quickly as she can. Yep, that totally looks like the exact same sketch. Wanderer starts to become empathetic towards the voice in her head and decides to rip it up instead of showing it to the Seeker. We then cut to her in the middle of fucking nowhere, and it looks like the Seeker has followed her along. She requests new information about the human resistance, and it seems as though Wanderer has lost interest in helping.
Your identification of Jared Howe has helped. There was a sighting. I am confident we will find him.
No!
Oh, so Melanie can control the body in very short and sudden outbursts at convenient moments. Great. Totally looks like you fell into that position and you're not just laying down comfortably. They tell her that since her host is too resistant, they will take her out and put her into another one.
We'll make the transfer tomorrow.
Yes, let us do this tomorrow and not right now. So Melanie winds up begging Wanderer not to let this happen to her.
Melanie, I have to do my duty.
You have to do what's right.
No, I meant I gotta take a shit really bad. This might be a little awkward.
Put the chair against the door. No, the other way.
Haha, what fun quirkiness that the alien doesn't understand which way to put the chair in front of the door. Haha, an alien wouldn't know that, so therefore she was confused. I was kind of under the impression that any sort of instinctual brain function carried over to the alien since, you know, she can fucking speak English. Anyway, now she's trying to escape.
Now jump.
I can't.
It's a good thing I can.
Convenient. Step aside, large black man, while I kick down the door.
Wanderer.
You had one job. They then perform the easiest carjacking of all time.
May I borrow your vehicle? Please, it is important.
Certainly.
That's a good trick.
It was no trick. We do not lie. We trust each other.
How can you drive? You did not know how to properly block the door, but you do know how to operate a motor vehicle. Those are some convenient, detailed memories you're able to access. The Seeker goes through her old clothes and finds the ripped up piece of paper. Like, apparently there was no way to dispose of that properly. Not even Melanie thought to flush it down the toilet or something. Wanderer decides to make her car ride more interesting by going through memories, and apparently, yeah, she's a fucking pervert. Foreplay. So now Wanderer finds out that Melanie's been giving her wrong directions.
Where are we?
You tell me. You're the one with the steering wheel.
Wanderer needed to talk to her healer, who coincidentally moved to Fort Worth, Texas, and although Melanie said she would tell her the way, it looks like she had other plans in mind.
You sent us in the wrong direction. You have been putting thoughts in my head to distract me.
Pretty good control with that car there. Did you access a memory of her doing that maneuver?
The Seeker was right. You are an unreasonable species. I try to help you, and this is how you thank me. We are going to Fort Worth.
No!
I don't understand how this happened. I haven't seen a car crash that shitty since In Time.
Will it still work?
Not anymore.
Thanks for the information, Melanie. I was completely clueless about cars despite the fact that I was driving one.
Now what do we do?
We walk.
Which way?
You can go my way. Or you can go your own way and kill us both.
Hey, a water bottle right outside my car wreck. Sweet.
Don't leave tracks. Walk on the rocks.
That seems doable. So now we get to these guys typing on their computers. Ha ha ha, we found out exactly where you are based on this little sketch. She walks around the desert for a while and then glory hallelujah, somebody finds her.
Stay with me.
Uncle Jeff, you found us.
They notice that they're speaking to an alien and not actually Melanie, and despite this, Uncle Jeb insists that they bring her back to their hideout, with absolutely zero indication that Melanie is still alive inside her head. Like, okay, she says you found us instead of you found me, but do you really think that's reason enough to take her back to the hideout that holds the last chance for humanity? Even if we assume that you patted her down on the way and the movie just didn't show it, could she not have swallowed a GPS tracking device? Nah, don't worry about that one. Hunches are facts. They get back to where the human resistance is, and she notices that her boy toy Jared is still alive.
Jared! Jared's alive! Jared's...
It's like you put that rock there for the explicit purpose of her hitting her head on it, but it looks like she just lied down on it instead. What happened to you? So the Seekers find her car wreck, and apparently every single one of them has to have a chrome vehicle. Like, it's already stupid enough that they have to be wearing white clothes to symbolize their perfection. But doesn't that kind of go against the type of perfection they're supposed to be anyway? Like, we're supposed to believe that these guys have created a utopian society where there is no violence, no hunger or poverty, and apparently none of them even lie, and yet they have extreme vanity issues?
You know, one of the things I love about Andrew is he has a very strong opinion. He's very aesthetic. You know, his world is very distinct.
The whole look of the Seekers of this world is really his idea, and I think even Stephanie was surprised of how, you know, what a strong visual vision he had. I don't know if you read the book, but my character is actually very different in the book. Dark-haired and short and all of this, but Andrew felt like all the Seekers, in fact the world, has become very perfect and everybody sort of is perfected. So I thought that a very good posture and very good, you know, the way she speaks is very proper. Let's give a breakdown. What did you think of the outfit? They were completely silly because who wears pristine white in the desert? Like seriously, apparently they figured out how to do laundry every day. It was craziness. I mean, I have nothing to do with that. That's all, you know, the costume designer and Andrew Niccol, who had a really very strong opinion about what his world should look like. I mean, yeah, it looks cool, but I was not pleased having somebody constantly fluff and puff me. But it was ridiculous in the desert to be wearing white and drive a chrome, shiny car.
Nah, man, we're the Seekers. We're important. We gotta have everything chrome. After all, it's our job to hunt down the remaining humans. And we all know that the best way for them not to see us coming from a mile away is to drive around in the desert in the most reflective vehicles possible.
They are very cool.
Very, very cool. No white
Totally
suit.
impractical having a shiny chrome car in the desert, but okay.
Like their species is that fucking stupid and yet we expect them to have solved the poverty crisis? You solved all environmental issues too, right? Are you still using non-renewable resources to power and manufacture those chrome vehicles? Unless that guy at the beginning was just lying again.
There is no violence.
No!
If you're a species that puts logic ahead of everything else, there's no room for vanity. I mean, doesn't the fact that they're chasing after Wanderer right now kind of disprove the idea that they have a harmonious society? If your species' mental structure allows for a variety of individual thoughts and actions, does that not ensure that conflict is inevitable? Shouldn't the Seekers be reacting to this whole Wanderer situation by saying, holy shit, a member of our species is capable of thinking and acting in a way that doesn't conform to our predetermined guidelines? This has never happened before in recorded history ever. I mean, especially if we're supposed to believe that lying is a foreign concept to them. How can your species be completely harmonious if you're not functioning in a hive mind? And I guess we're supposed to assume that that would be the case if Wanderer wasn't persuaded by Melanie's oh so emotional memories. Like, let's just put aside how conceitedly geocentric the notion is that, oh, this is the first time that these aliens have ever had to deal with emotions. They've conquered so many highly advanced intelligent species before showing up here, but human beings are the ones with real feelings. Yeah, totally not a subjective interpretation of chemicals being released into our bloodstream to coerce a yes or no reaction based on what actions previously allowed our ancestors to carry on their genes. These are feelings, and those are exclusive to humans. Love and sadness isn't cognitive, it's magic and we're special. That's why true love always saves the day, right? Because somehow it exists outside our brains, and it's totally not a neurologically mathematical algorithm based on biological appearances and pheromone compatibility. Nah, this is true love. And these aliens that have conquered entire civilizations over the past bajillion years were not prepared for it. You'd think that they would have found these basic primitive brain functions on any other creature at least once. Or maybe all the other billions of people on the planet not only didn't want to live hard enough, but also don't have any memories of real love.
They don't know a human can stay alive in a body. You can't tell them I'm in here. They won't believe you. They'll think you're lying to save yourself.
Oh, so she can't tell them that she's stuck in there because they think that that won't... What? So you could say absolutely nothing and they won't believe that you're stuck in there. Or you could try telling them, but you won't because you're completely fucking sure that they won't believe you. Not even worth a try? As if they're gonna be like, well, we didn't think that Melanie was trapped in there before, but now that you're mentioning that that's a possibility, we're gonna assume that that is incorrect and kill you. There's like two of you and you both decided that this is completely rational. Because them not wanting to kill her is dependent on the fact that she's not trying to lie to them to save her own life? That makes so much sense. Well, apparently some of them want to kill her anyway, but then her boy toy steps in to save the day, even though he fucking pimp slapped her earlier.
Get out of the way.
There is no violence.
Keep breathing. Come on, Wanderer. Fight him.
Evening, everyone. I hate to remind you, but this is my place, and you are my guests.
Oh, thank you for saving us, Uncle Jeb.
We took a vote. This ain't a democracy.
Okay, you took a vote, but what's the point of a vote when you don't fucking tell people about it? Like, yeah, me and these two guys took a vote. I understand there's quite a few more people that live here, but we took a vote and we decided that we should kill her. I know some people didn't want to kill her, but they weren't part of the vote, so it's okay.
I do not think we're looking for Wanderer. I think we're looking for a body.
Even if she were not hurt in the wreck, how long could she survive in this place?
In my experience, this host has difficulty dying.
Yeah, guys, Melanie's a tough one. She actually wants to live. Good thing we can see their shiny chrome cars from a mile away. So Wanderer starts having a conversation with Melanie's little brother.
I want to know what happened to my sister that night. She said that she was going to come back.
If he can't know I'm alive, he deserves to know what happened to me.
Why can't he know you're alive? Meanwhile, Uncle Jeb just eavesdrops on the conversation despite explicitly being told to keep her away from the kid.
Keep it away from the kid.
Where do you come from?
Another planet.
What the hell? Damn it, Jeff, I told you.
To keep her away from the kid, you never said nothing about keeping the kid away from her.
What a douche. That sounded like Steve Brule.
To keep her away from the kid, you never said nothing about keeping the kid away from her.
Jamie, that is not Melanie. She's never coming back.
It's still her body that we've hurt.
Get out of here now, Jamie, or so help me out.
Okay, so I get that in the script your character says, "So help me all," and then gets cut off. But when you're filming it, do you not think that you should have had Uncle Jeb interrupt him a bit earlier so it seemed like there was something more that he was going to say? When you want to show a character get interrupted, it's best not to show them as if they were waiting to get interrupted. Like, this guy definitely did not plan to say anything after the word "I'll."
Get out of here now, Jamie, or so help me out.
This is the type of acting/directing problem that exists most prevalently in 8th grade theater productions. So now these two fucking hunks start arguing over her again, except they're taking the exact opposite position that it seems they were taking before. The guy who just tried to kill her is like,
It is the furthest thing from a seeker I've ever seen.
and the guy who stepped in to try and save her from the guy that was trying to kill her is like,
It is the enemy. Don't forget it.
way to make these characters even less distinguishable. It's not like it's already bad enough that they've got extremely similar height, skin color, muscle mass, and facial structure. Uncle Jeb gets sick of calling her Wanderer, so he says,
Your name is a mouthful. Mind if I shorten it? Mind if I call you Wanda?
He then gives her a tour and we find out that their living situation isn't all that bad. Turns out that not only does this place look like a cheap Disney attraction, but it functions like one too. You can just take a bath whenever you want.
Makes you feel like a human being again, don't it?
So these guys get in their inexplicably acquired vehicles to go on a supply run, not seeming to care one fucking bit that they're leaving tire tracks all the way to their secret hideout. Like literally less than a minute of screen time later, we see the Seeker flying around in a fucking chrome helicopter. She's scanning the area looking for evidence of their existence, so wouldn't the off-road tire tracks that lead fucking nowhere be even a little bit suspicious? Now I did a little bit of research and found out that in the book, the vehicles had tarps and chains attached to their rear bumpers to wipe away the tracks. And I guess when Andrew Niccol was adapting this into a screenplay, he thought, what the fuck, that doesn't make any sense. How am I even gonna show that? That sounds kind of stupid. So he just decided that it's easier if nobody thinks about it. I mean, if there's no proper way to be covering up their tire tracks each time they go for supplies, then there's no real way that they'd have been able to renovate this fucking fortress with solar paneled electricity in every room. It kind of destroys the whole story. So just don't think about it.
Don't leave tracks. Walk on the rocks.
Oops.